told us that he's working with you and kind of encouraging you to go after balls, to really stay on top of you. Are you running fast enough in your routes? How do you approach that? How do you feel with that? Is that kind of just a good feeling, just that he's encouraging you and kind of helping you out like that?
Yes.
I mean, how do you take that? I mean, is that something that you just...
Competitive excellence. He's been, like I said, he's been around a lot of balls, so he's seen, great tight ends, great receivers, so it's just for me to listen to what he's saying and apply it.
Oh, have you gotten any use out of the video screens this year in camp?
A little bit. I don't really look at him as much. I'm not used to it, so.
How do you evaluate Zach Robinson as a coach and his communication style? He's someone who kind of pointed out your play last week as just having an edge to it.
I would say Z Rob is he's definitely like the West Coast surfer guy. Very mellow, but he's intentional with his words. So just learning a lot from him and his offensive background and just soaking up as much as I can.
What's been your reaction to the new weight room and locker room?
It's pretty cool. Everybody loves new things. So new lockers, new weight room, and it's just evolution. So just getting better each year.
Is there a particular part of something that they did with the locker room, particularly that you really liked that you like?
Yeah, the space of lockers. I have my own locker.
Oh, okay. What does that mean to you to have your own locker?
I have space now.
Kyle, your expectations for this year? Thinking that John and Drake and Tyler, you could have 5 footballs and everybody would be open and able to get it. In terms of you and your responsibility, you're going to be a big key to the offense. Even though they're not having a lot of big plays right now, your expectations?
I wouldn't count as expectations. Just go out there and try and execute. It's about all 11, and if I'm open and Kirk sees me, that's what it is, and vice versa for everybody else around me.
Are you seeing routes differently here than in camp now and against Miami than you did maybe a couple of years ago? How's your progression in terms of your wisdom of the game?
Just evolving each week. It's a new quarterback, new scheme, and just got to play fast.
Is there an edge guy that gives you particular trouble when you're trying to pass block? You seem like you're holding your own.
I mean, they're all heavier than me. They got me by a good 80 to about 70 to 80 pounds, so it's just about grit.
Anything else?
Kyle, what's kind of your role and what do you take out of preseason when you want to play?
Just to help the guys that are playing. Now I was kind of considering myself a vet on this team, so just guys like Fitz and Stogner and JT just being to help as much as I can.
And how important are those middle reps to you in your progression?
I mean, it's good. I mean, it makes you just want to get out there, just ball is just back going with refs and timeouts and things like that.
What adjectives would you use to describe this offense going into this season?
That's a good one. Adjectives. I would say together, inclusive, and fast. Execution.
Okay.
Now that you've been in training camp for a little bit, this is your first training camp. It's week 3. Is there anything you guys do to kind of break up any boring points or slow points? Because you're doing a lot of the same thing week in, week out.
Just have as much fun as you can with it. Just still got to be competitive every day, and just go out there and win your matchup, no matter if they know the play or not. Just find a way to win.
During the preseason, you kind of become coach Pitts for a little bit. What's it like things you're looking for out of the guys and just kind of be more in the analytic role?
I wouldn't go as far as Coach Pitts or analytics at all. If they have questions, I just try and answer them as best as I can and let the coaches do their job.
Kirk was saying the other day that they've had the rookies give presentations on conspiracy theories. Have there been any new ones that have been impressive to you?
Yeah, those will stay in our room.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll stay in our room.
You talked about being a vet. Is there anything specifically that has slowed down for you? Are you seeing more clearly than you had in the last few years?
Well, I mean, just being a vet in the league, but I would say, we're all rookies back in this new team, new offense, new scheme. So just trying to play as fast as I can and see things faster.
Is it a way of learning differently now? Like since you've been in this position before, when you came in as a rookie and learning a new offense, are you doing something differently with this new offense as far as learning?
Just knowing that ball is ball at the end of the day, and it's better now knowing most offenses kind of correlate in some sort of way, just different terminology. So just using that to my advantage.
What's been your greatest advice to the rookies, not just that are new to the Falcons, but are new to the league in general?
Take advantage of sleep. Yeah.
It's a good genuine advice.
You got any favorite conspiracy theories since the presentation started?
The hollow earth theory. That's an interesting one I just learned about. I think people are down there.
I just wanted to ask about one play early in the first one-on-one. Looked like you were covered. Kurt got the ball. What did you see when you went up and got that one?
You said in the one-on-one rep?
Yeah. Second play.
Against
It was
Jesse?
a corner route.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
Jesse
winning my route. No, that's not a quick throw, a quick time and throw. So I knew I had time to work. Just got to win my matchup.
And you felt you did that one on that play? It looked like they had you.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Ruke, what would you say is the biggest adjustment from college to pro?
I'll just say the speed of the game. It's just all faster right now. But you know, with time, it's going to slow down. Same thing as coming in as a freshman in college. It was very fast to you. But as time goes and as you progress and you practice more on your craft, it slows down. So that's what I'll say the biggest difference is right now.
Have you gotten any usage out of the video boards that y'all have here, like on the side that show the replays?
I ain't gonna lie. At first, I didn't know what that was. I thought this was like past practices, but I didn't know that was the play that literally just happened.
Yeah.
So I low-key just started looking at it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Does it help in any
It
way?
does help. It definitely does help because you can get a quick peek at what you did and you know quickly see like, okay, I did this here and I can do this better, and it's just quick like that and just go about your day.
Was there a certain play that worked on? Like you looked up and you said, okay, I got to do this different. And
Yeah, I'd probably say like just a pass rush move I threw or something. Like if I felt like I could have got through there, I'll go look at it real quick and then see like, all right, if I would have cleaned it up this way, then I would have got through there, things like that.
Got it.
What's the mindset as you prepare for Baltimore later this week?
Mindset is the same thing as it is every week for me. It's just get better. Just do better than whatever I did the last week and just get better and learn from the mistakes that I made and try not to make them again.
What were some of those takeaways or mistakes, lessons learned that you took from Miami?
Just playing faster, you know, just trusting my coaching, trusting my preparation and everything, and just going out there and playing free.
Is there anything you'd like to do, to kind of break up the monotony of camp, going into these next few weeks as far as like not staying stagnant, keeping things fresh?
I'll be watching boxing a lot. So like when I get home, I just take like an hour off from everything and just watch boxing. It was a good fight last week. Bud Crawford, that's the best fighter, #1 pound for pound, if anybody wants to know. So.
Good to know. And then as far as the injuries go, I've asked the other guys all kind of in different answers. I think injuries affect everybody a little bit mentally. How is this affecting you going in to Baltimore this week?
It definitely does because, you carry the weight of your brother. Some of our brothers went down and you can't do nothing. It's already happened, but you just can't do nothing but pray for them and just keep them in good spirits because times like that can be tough. So just as long as they know that you're there for them, it makes me feel better knowing that they feel better.
Do you box yourself? Do you do anything?
Yes, I definitely box. Honestly, I'm not trying to get too cocky, but if I didn't play football, I'd probably be boxing.
Is that like a common thing for linemen, especially just because the hand, or is it just for pleasure?
I would say it's just for pleasure for me. It's just fun. I just like doing it, but it does help with your hand combativeness though, in the pass rush sense.
Forgive me if you've been asked this, but how was the first preseason game for you to get your feet wet with the real game situation?
Oh yeah, it was really good. Real game time. Just seeing what it's like, seeing my pregame progressions, and knowing the routine I'm going to use going on to this next week versus Baltimore. But it was really good, man. My first NFL game in the books. Got to see my number in the jersey, number and name in the jersey. So just knowing that I made my parents proud just makes me happy as well.
Talking to a few people around the organization, you surprised them with your ability to get after the run game. I think they knew you were going to be long and how hard to handle the pass game, but you surprised them with your ability to defend the run. Is that something that nobody knew about? You already had that part of your game?
I mean, that was like the biggest thing for me is to show that I could play the run. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the whole time I was in college, everybody talked about Dorlus being a pass rusher. Yeah. So biggest thing for me, I want to be also known as, okay, we could throw him in there, he can stop the run too. I don't want to be just a third down guy. I want to be every down guy. So the biggest thing for me was to prove everybody here is I can play the run.
Now you're in your third week of training camp. Just what's your experience been like so far? Because training camp, it's a lot. You're out in the sun a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever. It's grinding, right? How's it just been?
I mean, me and Ruke were talking about. It was like, yeah, we're finally in it. We deep into it. Third week, had first game under the belt, and we're out here getting a little more irritated with everybody, and you can feel it. That's how you know you're really deep into camp. And so you get irritated about the little things, but it's been a fun, just enjoying it. Like Ruke, Zion, we all going through the same things. We talk about the same things. Like, I used to do this in college, now it doesn't work here. But like just having 2 other guys that's going through it with you, it's fun because we both all work on that, get extra work together. You know, we were just to get extra work with Grady, and that was like, you know, little things like that helped a lot.
So how are you able to pass by when you get those little things that irritate? You know, you've been around the guys for so long.
Yeah.
How are you able to kind of just subside that?
Honestly, just, you know, just going back to remember what got me here. You know, trusting my technique. You know, not trying to go away from like what got me here. Like I feel like in the game I got caught a couple times, you know, doing things I never did. Like I'm doing moves I never tried to do in college because, you know, like I wasn't trusting my technique. So the biggest thing is, like, you know, just like I said, trusting what Coach Jay Rogers, Coach T telling us, you know, following what the vets are doing. And it doesn't take too much to play D-line. Honestly, you gotta be physical, gotta knock back and get out the pass rusher. But, you know, there's little details that help you win reps. And I feel like the little things after practice, like extra work like that, is gonna help a lot.
What's the biggest thing you've learned from Grady so far, whether that's something he said or just an example he set?
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing with McGrady, like, I knew he wasn't the biggest guy, but to see how he moves and like how he takes on block at that size and the twitch he has, you know, it's very interesting. So like, I try to emulate from his game, 'cause I feel like, you know, that's the same as me. I'm not the biggest guy, and I feel like I'm very twitchy, but like just to see how he just holds himself, you know. Even when after a lost rep, you know, this is his mindset, just very, you know, he's still like, okay, next play mentality. I feel like that's one thing I can really take from him.
Say that Brady and Randy Moss just had to look at each other.
Right.
They both knew.
Absolutely.
Randy knew the defense as well. Are you
Absolutely.
getting to the point where you may have to give just a little bit of look, and now we know where
Yeah, absolutely. We're working on that every day. Our defense does a great job of giving us different looks, going against Coach Lake's defense, and it makes it pretty much easier for us when we get into the games and stuff like that, because they give us every coverage that we can imagine. So once we get into the games, teams pretty much are playing man and a little bit of zone, so it allows us to beat our man one-on-one, and we got great quarterbacks in Kirk and Mike, so it makes our job easy.
Is there anything in the offseason that you said, look, I want to be that third down guy that we can go to, you know, rely on, or the first, over-the-top type guy? Is there anything specifically that you worked on that you said, this is part of my game that I need to enhance?
Absolutely. I'm more so of a down-the-field threat, but I wanted to work on my intermediate and short game route running as well. Just being a jack of all trades, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to be on third down, any down, whenever they need me to make a play, just whenever they call my number, just being prepared for that.
Obviously, there were quite a few injuries. You know, how does that affect you guys mentally, you know, going into Boston?
It's tough. Because, you know, those guys put in a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it's the next man up mentality. That's what Coach Raw always preached to us. It's always about the next man. So we come out here and we compete every day. And if somebody goes down, the next man is more than capable of coming in and stepping up and making those plays.
A little bit about special teams in your role in that. Obviously, some guys don't have to work on special teams, but until the depth chart changes,
right.
Your size, your speed, everything
right.
like that, your want to.
Mm-hmm.
When it's strong enough, you
absolutely.
Kickoff coverage, your return.
Absolutely.
Talk about what you want to develop in that area.
Absolutely. Special teams is definitely critical, especially guys in my shoes, being undrafted. So you have to find your role on the team, and a lot of guys, it is special teams, because you got guys like Drake London and Darnell Mooney on the offensive side who pretty much got those spots locked down. So now you're fighting for that 4th and 5th receiver roster spot, and the way you're going to get that is teams. So Friday I played a good amount of special teams with kickoff, kick return, and punt return as well. So just being able to be on all those phases outside of offense, just being able to help the team and also putting good film out there for myself.
Seeing your name on the back of the jersey there in Miami.
Yeah.
Even though you practiced against him when you're in the stadium, what
right.
was that like?
It's a different feeling. Adrenaline was up. Just being out there in Hard Rock, it's a stadium I've always seen on TV, but actually being able to play in there and actually get to make plays in that stadium, it was a dream come true, because everybody dreams of being in the NFL and making those type of plays. So I'm glad I got the chance to do so.
It wasn't full crowd.
Right.
You know, there were enough people there.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you put in a long amount of hours to get to that point. So just being able to go out there, full crowd, half a crowd, whatever it was, just being able to go out there and compete in front of those fans that were there, it was top tier.
How have you felt like you've done as far as your performance is going?
I feel like I'm, taking it day by day, trying to get better each day, trying to get 1% better, so I feel like I'm doing good at that.
What do you think has been the biggest learning curve for you so far?
Really just, the type of blocks, you got to reading those blocks, and then just getting into the playbook. You know, just it's different wordings for everything. So just getting to know that.
Yeah. How was it like sort of jumping straight into training camp? Like you didn't have like the OTAs and the mini camp to kind of warm things up. And in terms of like, you know, getting on the field with these guys.
It was good, you know, just over the break, you know, that's why I took the time to just do that because I didn't have the time to OTA, you know, just getting into it. You know, just being here with those guys, seeing how they practice, you know, getting in the playbook.
Was there anything that you did like while you were kind of like watching on the sidelines from that point to like help you, you know, just jump straight into training camp?
I was basically just staying in the playbook, you know, just free time. So just extra time to get in the playbook and then just watching film.
I'm curious, like there's I think 3, right? 6th-round draft picks, you, Zion, and Casey. Have you guys like talked about that in terms of like, have you bonded over that? Like, what's been your relationship with those guys?
You know, it's just coming in here ready to work. You know, we all 6th round, you know, all around the same pick. You know, just being lucky to be here to each other and just getting ready to work.
Obviously, there were quite a few injuries. You know, does that have any effect on you guys mentally? And if so, how does that affect the momentum going into Baltimore?
Yeah, it does. You know, just trying to be there for those guys. You know, praying for those guys to stay healthy and be in a better situation. You know, just they part of the team. You know, help the team. So just praying for those guys.
How are you guys able to keep things fresh and maintain focus? You know, during the remainder of the camp.
You know, it's just part of the game. You know, people go down, people come up. You know, but just just staying focused on what's ahead of us.
And who's really kind of been that biggest mentor as far as vets goes for you throughout this time?
I'd really say in the running back room, you know, more Tyler G and Bijan, you know, just learn from those guys, seeing how they work.
When you have those reps, how important is it to make up the best of them?
You know, just putting your best play on film, you know, just trying to get the best look, you know, put out your best effort.
As much as the starters, you know, don't want to play in preseason, and this is your guys' time to really show. Is this you guys make the most of this? This is your regular season, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah, it is. You know, just building the resume, you know, for every other team to see, and for the coaches to see.
Is it good to have all those vets though, as a rookie?
Yeah, it is. You know, just something to learn from. You know, see, get a pattern going. You know, just a lot to learn from.
Did you have a moment once you stepped out on the field in Miami, like wow, when you was on the field ready?
No, it really kind of hit me like when we started practicing, you know, practicing against those guys down there. It was just like, okay, this is it. You're practicing against another team, getting ready to play them. So, it's a big moment. No, you good.
Now that you have that first preseason jitters, I guess, you know, out of the way, going into Baltimore, do you feel differently? What did you learn from the Miami game that you're going to take to Baltimore?
Yeah, I feel a little different, you know, just learning the play speed, seeing how it played out, you know, seeing how people play, you know, what you got to do to prepare. So, yeah.
How would you evaluate the secondary's performance in the first preseason game, just overall?
Well, you know, I thought the young guys did a good job, you know, understanding what they're trying to do. Good thing that we're trying to, you know, just get them to understand the process. And that's where trust builds. Hey, look, are you doing your job? Or we ask you to do what you're supposed to do? And when we go in there and grade the film, that's exactly what we've seen them guys doing.
What's it been like working with Kevin King specifically after 2 years off? He had a great game.
Yeah, you know, the good thing is we know who Kevin is, and we know what he can do. You know, he understands, very smart, you know, get a chance to get back out there, like you said, after 2 years. And he just picked up where I had him in Green Bay. You know, he knows what he can do. We know what he can do. And he went out there, had a couple of, you know, interception, had a forced fumble, a couple of tackles. So that's what we asked him to do.
What is it about him that you liked so much in Green Bay that you wanted to bring him here, if you had any say in those conversations, of course?
Well, versatile. You know, he could play corner, he could play nickel, he can play dime. We got money, and then if he can need to play safety, he can play safety. So that's the good thing about him, that he's very smart, understanding what he can do and what he can't do. And as long as we use him the right way, he's on our team. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
Coach, I think it was 19, but he had one of his better years up there. How far is he from that, and could he get back to first-string starter-level play in the NFL?
Well, to me, I think he can. It's going to take some time, you know. Number one, it takes trust from coaches that he's been out for 2 years, you know. So do we trust him enough to get out on the football field? Okay, Miami, yep, we've seen that. Now can you put it together again against Baltimore? Can you do it against Jacksonville? And then all of a sudden, you know what, then you let the chips fall where they may. And I think if he's on this team, you'll see a guy that can make some plays. You know, Kevin, he has great ball skills. He knows what he can do. And then, like I said, I like him because I know what he can do. So now you just got to prove it to everybody else.
We don't want to overhype after a great performance against some backups, but can he make it all the way back?
Well, we'll see. You know, to me, like you said, he played against backups, and right now we consider him as a backup. So if we were considered him as a starter, then as playing a backup, that's not fair. So now, you know, he's one of our fourth, fifth, sixth corners. Now, you know what? Can you keep working to get to where you're supposed to be able to be on this roster?
What did that interception mean to you? We spoke to him after the game about how much it meant to him given everything, but what about you, knowing him before and now?
Oh, it meant a lot because now, you know, when the ball is in the air, we know he can go get it, you know, and it shows that, hey, if I'm around the football, I can catch the football. You know, now what else can you do? We watched him go against guys in practice. You know, he did a really good job there. Biggest thing we got to do is just make sure he stays healthy, and can you keep competing week in and week out?
DeMarco hasn't been placed on injured/reserve list or anything like that yet, but what does that immediate loss do to the secondary?
Well, right now, you know, the biggest thing we got to do is we got to see who's going to be that next guy. You know, we always talk about next man up, who's stepping up, and that's what we're looking for. Who's going to step up and be that next guy until we get DeMarco back. And I think that's the attitude we had last year. That's the attitude we got to keep building because you never know. You know, this league is so physical. You're going to lose some guys along the way. Can the young guys that are after him step up and make plays? If they can, you're only going to make us better. You know, if you can't, you're going to make us worse. So it's up to a lot of guys that are playing backup that really gives you the strength of what you're really going to be.
Just in your own words, kind of what did you see on Friday night?
It was just sloppy all around. It's unacceptable. We just got to go out there and play cleaner. All the penalties, the turnovers. I don't think we got a first down, maybe one or two. So, yeah, we just got to be better all around.
And you, got a lot of experience. Can you kind of pinpoint why you felt it was sloppy? Was there any one thing, or was it kind of a bunch of things?
I think it was just a bunch of things kind of combined. I think each person kind of took their turn messing up. And again, you know, we get limited reps at practice, but again, that's no excuse. All these guys, they have experience. We know what we're doing. We just got to go out there and execute.
And as a quarterback, when you are dealing with a situation, it's obviously in a game, even a regular season game, you're getting different receivers in there, you're getting guys who go out, different guys come in. In a preseason game, like, do you almost have to trust your training a little bit more to say, I know that they're going to be here and I'm looking at a spot as opposed to a receiver?
Yeah, 100%. Again, you get very limited reps with new guys that you're throwing to. So those reps that you do get, you have to feel that rhythm. You have to feel the timing for those guys. So like you just said, when you're in the game, you really just got to trust that timing. Hey, like, this is just practice. We're just on a different field. Like, it's a different team. So, you know, we're really looking forward to this upcoming Saturday.
And then last one for me is, it looked like the fumble kind of right when you entered the game. You thought that there was a false start that maybe would have called that play dead. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, it was a miscommunication with the cadence. The play clock was rolling down, and I kind of had to go fast, and I think I caught the offensive line off guard. And you know, again, that was one of those things where we took that turn of we messed up. So I thought there was a false start. Obviously, that doesn't really matter. So it was unfortunate right there.
Taylor, what's the balance between, and you know the game, you played it a long time, the balance of being simple enough where young guys can know what they're doing so they can just react, but not complex enough to give you an opportunity potentially to operate?
Yeah, you know, it's a tough question. I think the only way I could really answer it is I just got to give those guys a chance. You know, they're out there fighting for a job, as I am myself, and the only way they can really get film out there is if they get the ball thrown to them and they get a chance to touch the ball. So you know, that's going to be the focus of Saturday.
Have you gotten any use out of the video boards in the spring and the summer that they have now?
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, there's some times where you go through a play if you're in and you think you see something and coach will tell you differently. You kind of look at it and think, okay. It's really nice because in years past you have to kind of wait 3-4 hours to see it on film. Whereas now you can kind of see it right then and there, so you kind of make the adjustment there and then go on and practice and make that adjustment.
It'll be like retain it better because it's like in real time.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of more like game-like.
You haven't, this isn't your first training camp, you know, third week now in this one. How do you guys break up like the monotony maybe that may come, whether it's physically, mentally, just coming in, you know, kind of doing the same things day in and day out?
Yeah, you know, I think it's my 9th or 10th training camp, so you got to find things to do. So in your off time, you know, whether we're playing cards or, you know, getting dinner with different types of people, getting to know different people, you really got to keep yourself entertained. You know, a lot of guys will tell you that they start binge watching new shows. That kind of gets their mind off football. So it's one of those many things. That's kind of how you just get through it.
And with everything that happened last week in Miami with injury-wise, where you see two guys go on the IR, DeMarco out for
a while. Does that like mentally do anything to the team? I know it's just the preseason, right? When you see injuries happen like that in the preseason, does it affect anything?
You know, obviously it's unfortunate. Some good players, Rondale and our safety there, and yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, they're going to be key players of the team, but at the same time, that's football. You know, everybody gets injured, so that's why you got second, third, and fourth string guys. They got to be ready, and that's why we practice.
First thing that came to my mind was, you know, how do we get Marco back on the field? How do we support him, make sure his head's in the right space, get him back to doing what he loves? The next thing that comes to mind is, you know, we had a lot of guys that play the safety position, and we come out here and work every day, and you know, there should be the ability to just slide somebody in the slot and everything goes seamlessly smooth. You know, the communication with some of the older guys, the veterans, Jesse Bates, stuff like that will also help the transition for anybody that's going out there. So, you know, we feel very confident about whoever goes in that spot.
Yeah, Lukas, I was wondering, as pros, how tough is it to go from practice where y'all are thudding, and then in live games you gotta, you know, make the tackles?
Absolutely. You know, I think it's more so of a get your feet wet type thing. With the first game always, you know, just being a learning experience for everybody in every position involved. But we do a lot of drills that help simulate tackling. And you know, we just got to bring those to life. I think we, you know, as a whole, we could tackle a lot better. So.
And some teams still tackle, but isn't that asking a lot to go from simulating thuds to real tackling? I know you can't do the Oklahoma drill.
Right.
Anymore.
Well, I think it's more so player safety.
Yeah.
But you know, I get it. You know, you should be able to go from the classroom to the field, to the board, back to the field, and you know, it all makes sense to me. You know,
Okay.
but you know, I'm always going to do what the coaches are asking and just put my best foot forward.
Looking back at the week as a whole against Miami, you know, I think Miami's receivers against the Falcons DBs were kind of the matchup everybody was going and looking at. How do you guys think you fared against them?
You know, I thought we did a good job. I don't think we let up too many explosives in the pass game. You know, they're a very explosive team, a lot of speed over there. Obviously, a lot of guys are not playing on that side of the ball. But I think, you know, we limited them to, I think, maybe one explosive, and that was on that play where I could have made a better tackle there. Yeah.
When you have a week like you guys did in Miami where it's preseason but you guys have a lot of injuries and everything like that, does mentally that affect you guys anyway? I know it's football and injuries are going to happen, but you have like 3 really almost season-ending injuries in a week.
Right. No, it's definitely rough on the team, you know. You know, these are guys that come out here every day and sweat their ass off. They work hard, really hard, and this is a dream for everybody. Just to see one of them go down, you know, it hurts, but you kind of got to go out there and play harder for them. You know, when I saw Marco go down, my mindset was just we got to go out there and crash out for Marco. So.
Did y'all go out there and just say touchdown, signal touchdown, like influence the refs a little bit? Walk me through that.
Right away, when I made the catch, I looked at the ref. He said no touchdown. So in my head, I thought like it was just incomplete. I did think I had 2 feet down, but when I went to the sideline and sat on the bench, and everyone came and got me and told me they were reviewing it. And as they were reviewing it, everyone was like, "That's touchdown." So. I ran on the field at first, and like, okay, it's touchdown, because he was like 2-point conversion, but they called it incomplete.
Yeah. It was just like middle of review, all of a sudden offense comes running back down, touchdown.
Yes, sir. Middle of review offense, like, yeah, that's touchdown, because on the review on the Jumbotron, it looks like a touchdown, so everybody was like, it's touchdown, so we ran out there, but like I said, they say incomplete.
Yeah. How much does an end of game, even though it is preseason, like a scenario like that, right? Rourke has that big scramble, moves you down there, the clock's ticking down, and you get that type of situation. How beneficial is that for you guys at this point?
It's very beneficial because football, 2/3 of the games are one-score games in the NFL. So that's very big to go down and be able to try to score. Unfortunately, it didn't count, but it's a very big situation right there for us.
Yeah, they were sending me videos from different angles. It looked like the left foot was down, and the one we saw in the basement, it looked like, you know, how did that go? You know, how did that go after you looked at it?
I mean, after I looked at it,
drag that left
in the
a little
stadium,
harder, or
as I looked at it in the stadium, it looked like touchdown. Like I said,
right.
The TV copy looks a little different, but in the stadium, I thought I did everything. I placed and dragged. But I just gotta keep it down for a little bit longer. Like as the defender pushed me, my feet came off the ground to try to brace my fall. I just gotta take the fall, keep the feet in the ground, and next time it'll be a touchdown. It just come with experience, though. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just tell us a little bit about your journey from Alabama State to Bowling Green.
Alabama A&M, coming out of high school.
I messed that up.
Yeah, that's our rivals. We don't like
I know that.
But we had one offer out of high school, which was Alabama A&M. Went there for 3 years. We didn't get to play at all in 2020 due to COVID. 2019 was my freshman year. Had an okay year, was starting returner. Then 2021 was my sophomore year. And I had a big season that year. My quarterback was leaving, so we didn't have any backup quarterback at that time, so I kind of just took it upon myself, make a business decision, man. So I jumped in the portal. Got to Bowling Green. That was like my first, bigger school that offered me. I went on a visit there, committed there. And just everything else, history. Went to Bowling Green, got second team All-MAC my first year there, third team All-MAC my senior year. Put up 750 my junior year, 500 my senior year. And now we here, man.
Yeah, well, what was the difference between the SWAC and the MAC?
So I'll say football, just football. The X and O's, like we did a lot of X and O's at Bowling Green. At Alabama, we just played simple football, take what is given. But at Bowling Green, we was like in depth. We had to know everything, different gaps of football. I learned more football on the X and O's, at Bowling Green for sure.
So it was Kent State, y'all, Kent State, Toledo, that whole
Toledo, our rival.
Yeah.
Toledo's our rival, better I-75. I beat them my junior year. I lost to them my senior year, but always a good game to play against those guys. They always have one of the championship teams. So, that was always a good experience.
What about the Michigan schools?
We played against Michigan this year. Central and Western, yeah. We beat those guys. We always beat those guys, but pretty good too in the MAC. Don't like going up to Michigan when it's winter time.
Winter time,
yeah,
tough.
But it's good experiences, man. For real.
Now, sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
Now that it's third week of training camp, and you guys have been doing this for a little bit now, how do you guys break up, whether when you need a physical or mental break, whatever it is, how do you guys break up the time? Like, what do you do to just make sure it doesn't become so mundane and just like the same thing?
Man, it's something like, I'll say just come with time playing the game. When you get to that point when it's either mentally you're fuzzy or physically you got to take care of your body. What you eat, sleep, treatment. But mentally, man, you just got to know, what I'm saying, what's good for you. For everybody, it's different. For me, I just like to tell myself if it's a bad day, we're not perfect. At the end of the day, you're a player, there's good, there's bad. So just try to put in your mind you're not perfect, but always trying to get better. Don't make the same mistakes, you know what I'm saying? You can't make the same mistakes. If you made this mistake yesterday, you fix that today when you get that opportunity again. So that's all it is, man. Just, stay grounded, pray if you believe in God, talk to God, and just keep moving forward, honestly. You can't dwell on anything. So.
OJ, when you made that jump from A&M to Bowling Green, did you learn any study habits or any new ways when that kind of football intelligence had to increase that have helped you here in your jump to the NFL?
I wouldn't say learn any new study habits because at Alabama and them, it was big on like knowing your plays and studying and stuff like that. It just as far as when I got to Bowling Green, we had to learn defense, we had to learn rotation, we had to learn how many gaps of football, who covers which gap when it's a certain front, things like of that nature, a 0 or 3, whatever, with the odds or with the D lineman. So when I got to Bowling Green, we did run like more NFL routes. Like there's a lot of routes that we run here that I ran at Bowling Green. So I would say it really prepared me for here as far as just the terminology of things and the plays. Like it's a pro style offense, so there's a lot of things that I'm familiar with in this offense due to Bowling Green. So forever grateful for that as well.
Who was the offensive coordinator
at Bowling Green? We had Max Warner and also Scott Leffler, our head coach, would call plays too. But Max Warner was the OC. Yes, sir.
Showcase some of your talent in the game in Miami. What are you trying to get the coaches and just everybody watching to see in these next couple preseason games?
Just to trust me, man. Just to trust that I can go out and know what I need to do. I can go out and make the plays that they count on me to make. And just know that I'm working hard, you know what I'm saying? And to showcase my talent, like you said. But overall, just want their trust. That's what it comes down to. Make them feel like they need to have me on the team and not want, but need. Sure.
Joint practices it was cool being there this year too. I kind of knew what to expect. Second time around doing them. So it was fun, man. It was hot. It was cool being back down there. A couple of my partners I played with in high school played for them. You know what I'm saying? A guy I played with at Houston just got drafted there in the second round. So we got to go to work, and then you got to see some people, and it was cool. We did have good work on both sides, good on good. We got to see a lot of exotic stuff that they do offensively for us defensively. Our offense does a bunch of it as well, but like just seeing all the motions and checks and just getting our rules and stuff on tape against some things that's not the people we go against every day. It was good. And then going into the game, it's never as good or as bad as you think. You think you did really good, you probably didn't. And same thing if you think you did really bad. So I thought I did okay, but then when you watch it, it's way sloppier than you thought. Doesn't look as good as you thought. a lot of things I could have did better, although there were some things I did that popped, and it was exciting. It was fun to do, but so much to get better at, and it wasn't as good as I thought once you watch it with a tighter lens, you know?
Yeah, can you give us maybe one thing that you felt you did good real time that the tape kind of confirmed, and then maybe one thing that you would like to improve coming off that game?
I wanna be more efficient with my movements, and I wanna have less wasted movements. I was real jittery. Feet weren't very where they needed to be. So I would say that. And then I think I tackled well, even though I missed one. I think I tackled. It was fun to finally really hit somebody. You know what I mean? That was fun to do.
Is that movement efficiency more trusting your eyes, trusting your training, and just like that, getting that antsiness out from underneath you, or what?
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. I'm about to break in some new cleats that's gonna have a little more grip. That's gonna do it. My eyes were kind of all over the place. I was antsy. It's my first game since this time last year. You know what I mean? First time going live for me, getting extended reps, and so I was sloppy, man. My eyes weren't in the right spot. I wasn't as tight and put together as I would have liked. And so that's what you get practice for, and before and after practice, and then this whole week. And so, yeah.
Yeah, how do you assess the group? You all getting a lot of action in the exhibition season. What do you want to do in the Baltimore game?
The group that played, or everyone in the room?
The group in general, and everybody that played.
The group in general, I think we got a really good room. The 3 guys that played, including myself, and then the 3 guys who didn't play. Our room is really good. We all help each other. We all get along well. A lot of people can do a lot of different things. It's not just guys who can just play off the ball and tackle. A lot of dudes have seen a lot of ball, and they're hungry to make plays. They're hungry to hunt. They bring good energy. So that's our room in entirety. The 3 guys that played, it was JD, Milo, and myself.
Right.
I like us, man. There's no bad feelings with us. There's no animosity, no way. Everybody want the next dude to do well. We're on the field talking with each other, celebrating with each other. The feedback and communication is open and easy. And we all get turned and excited when the next dude make a play. So it was fun.
Yeah, we would have. Coach talked about the physicality and mentioned you by name. Were you, I know you, wasn't probably happy or nothing, but the coach said, hey, Mutin was physical and brought it on the field tonight. And you said that after the game. How does that make you feel, even though you sound like you had a pretty hard critique of yourself?
Yeah.
He was giving you praise. You just said you.
Yeah, no.
Wasn't that good?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to figure it out.
No. You do things well, but then you look at it and it's never as good as you think. And also, my name is pronounced Mutin, like the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
It's pronounced wrong. Mutin, Ninja Turtles. That's how you can remember it. But,
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that means the world, dude. That means the world hearing that I can, get an attaboy from your coach that you did well, you played physical. But at the end of the day, that's my job if I want to, be here, stick around, and add value to what this team is. And so that feels amazing. It feels amazing, but I got to do it again,
Don, what's it been like, this whole new kickoff, return, kickoff coverage thing? I know that could be a big part of what your existence might be here initially.
Right.
Tell me about learning that. So different than anything we've done in the NFL. So
Yeah, it's real different in terms of the look of it and doing the rep itself, but in terms of like football movements and whatnot, like being as a linebacker, you kind of play short area anyway. Like being a guy on punt, as you move back, that's kind of the same movement you do, right? So just trying to find a way to group certain things together, you know what I mean? Like you got to stay on a certain side, make your block a certain way. It's new and it cuts down a lot of the running, which a lot of people probably appreciate, having to sprint crazy and then go play defense. Probably guys appreciate not having to run 40 more yards, but being that it's shorter area means that your feet and your eyes have to be as good tied in with your hands, and things happen quicker. And so you just gotta rep it, man. It's like yeah.
As far as playing, let's say your coverage unit, 5 yards from the guys that essentially stand behind the line of defensive line of scrimmage.
Oh yeah, a lot of big plays we made either way. If you do something, the return team can pop it, and if you make a good play and you beat your block quickly, you can make a big play for negative yards for them. You know what I'm saying? Get them off track in terms of starting their drive. So I think it's good both ways, but it's new. It's new for everybody. It's going to look nasty. The technique's going to look gross on TV. Everybody's going to look sloppy, missing blocks for a little while. It's going to be what it is, and you rep it, and you get better. And I shout out to Keith, man. He's really, really good at compartmentalizing and taking pieces of it and giving us this to think about with our block and making it. He always preaches small menu, big understanding. So like, even though it's a new play, we're gonna do something, and our menu of what we're doing is gonna be small. It's gonna be pretty basic. It's gonna be to it, but it allows you to know it through and through, so you can play fast and you cannot have no guessing or gray area. So shout out to Keith, man. He helps us out with that.
But I think the biggest thing would be, I had 3 different defensive coordinators in college, and so we've touched a lot of different defenses, and my last one his name's Al Golden, and he came from the Bengals defense, and so we run a lot of the same things as the Bengals defense and a lot of same even terminology, and so I think I've seen a lot of the defenses that we ran here, and we've even run some of the exact same ones the exact same way we ran at Notre Dame.
How ready are you for Baltimore?
I'm really excited, honestly. I think now is kind of you get your full week of kind of prepping, and so going through your routine of how you're going to watch film on them. You only really have one preseason game to watch on them, but you can watch some games from last year to kind of get an idea of who they are and what they do, and so really excited to make that jump from game 1 to game 2.
Is that kind of the approach this week, is almost using it as like a mock prep for an opponent? Like, obviously in the season you're going to be Monday through Friday like really prepping for a specific opponent, but now that you've got tape to watch and you can kind of almost simulate that a little bit better than you could going into Miami?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more on your own right now during preseason, because a lot of the focus is we're practicing, let's clean up the practice, and so I'm going to be doing that on my own, but it's also really good to kind of get your game day routines, because game day is a lot different than it was in college. It's a lot more individual on what you need and how you're going to go about your day to get ready for that game, and so just being able to get ready and get into those routines.
Speaking of routine, Raheem had mentioned, I think in rookie minicamp, that he was impressed that you already had something going. Like, I'm just curious, in training camp, how has that process been for you?
It's been going really well. I think for me, as I went through the draft process, I interviewed, like information interviews, what my mom always called it, and so I talked to Luke Kuechly, Sean Lee, Drew Tranquil, Brock Wright's a tight end, Kurt Heinicke. There's just a bunch of Notre Dame guys, and at all different positions that went drafted, undrafted, and kind of just talked to them about their experiences and how they've been successful in the league and what they kind of do on a day-to-day basis. And so I kind of took what I already like to do and kind of merged it with what people have told me really works for them, and I've kind of created what I like to do from kind of morning time to kind of bedtime.
Is there anything new in this training camp for you?
I think one thing for me is I really like to get up and get my body going, and so I'll wake up around 5:45, I go into the steam room and I do some active kind of, it's called cars, just active body work, and then I get in the ice bath, wake me up, and so that's kind of how I try to start my day, and then I have other stuff throughout.
Okay, I'm just very curious about the steam room. You said, how does that help you in your routine?
Yeah, the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if you really want to get into details, I wake up, I do some foot rehab, I do some meditation to kind of calm my mind, kind of get me very focused, and then the reason why I kind of kickstart my body, I try to get it up and going, and so I do kind of full range of motion exercises to kind of wake my body up, reach those full ranges of motion, and then I hop into the ice bath kind of as a kickstart, kind of get my body going and kind of wake it up really fast, because then we go into meetings, into a lift, and so I think it really wakes me up and gets me going.
So is the steam room part of the meditation part or part of the range of motion part?
Excuse me, could you just...
The steam room, is that more of
I meditate in my room and then steam room and do the active motion, active body part motion stuff in there.
JD, talk about...
a lot of steam room crunches.
Sorry.
No, I'm just really interested
No,
in
you're
that.
good.
Talk about Kuechly, like Sean Lee, it's like a Justice League of mentors that you got there. Did you initiate that? Was that kind of set up on your behalf by somebody?
Yeah.
Like, how did that all come about?
I mean, obviously there are people that I really wanted to talk to, but I didn't have a way to get in contact with them. So the end of my senior season, I talked to my coaches, and I was James Laurinaitis, one of them, and Al Golden, and I said, who do I play most like? And they both said Sean Lee. And then James Laurinaitis, being in the league for a while, he had his contact. He was like, let me actually put you in contact with him. And then he went ahead and also put me in contact with Kuechly. And I mean, it's been various conversations. Kuechly I've talked to twice in person, various times on the phone. And then Sean Lee's honestly been like a text away. And so anything that happens, like I can text him and he'll give me his feedback, even to the point where we were in Senior Bowl and he was on Twitter sending me some of the one-on-one reps that he saw of me, and hey, I would do this, hey, I would close space here better, I would take an extra step here, and so it's been a really cool relationship, and I couldn't be more thankful to be able to have them in my corner.
Have you had a chance to get any feedback from them on Friday's game?
I haven't. I've talked to another person I talked to is Victor Green, and he watches almost every game of mine and takes notes and kind of goes through and takes notes as he's watching the game. And so I always try to review most of my games with him as well, just because it gets a little bit more individual on outside of scheme and just on what a football player needs to be doing.
Have you gotten any utility out of the video screens out there during practice?
I got that question last time. Not really. Honestly, today I tried to, but we were on the other sideline, and my eyes weren't good enough to see that.
How do you feel about your reads during the game? You may have already answered this, but it seemed to me like you were quick to get to the ball.
Yeah.
You got to see them for a couple of days during camp and co-practices.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you were reading the ball well and getting to it is 4 tackles? I mean, you played well while
Thank
you were
you.
in there.
Yeah, I think I was able to get to the ball quickly, and I think it does help to obviously play them in practice. They ran some similar stuff, a little bit different stuff, and I think it's a matter of who their quarterback is. But I think overall did a good job, and I think my jump from game 1 to game 2, I really just want to solidify just that total understanding of the defense on what each individual person has. I think I've been doing a good job at that, but can always get better. And I think when you go against a different team like Miami, they present different looks and different kind of presentations that you don't always see against your own offense. And so it's a good learning opportunity for me. But I mean, I think the coolest thing is that the older guys have really taken the Miami film as a learning opportunity as well. They're on the sideline on the iPads, dicing it up and figuring out what was happening.
Aside from just the regular call that you take from the coaches, whatever your front's going to be, and secondary, did you get a chance to, in terms of your leadership, say, hey, great job here, hey, good job, let's go, or watch the dive, watch the power? Did you get to develop any of that?
Yeah, I think for me, just on the good job stuff, I think we're always trying to touch guys, just kind of be in contact with the guys and just show love to each other when each other make great plays. And then I think going from practice to the game, we were able to kind of get some indications. Like they do a quick motion that comes back, and at times in practice we were rotating behind us, which changes our drops and our fits. And so we were able to see that in practice and then anticipate it in the game. Hey, alert the fake motion kind of stuff, and kind of have that pre-snap conversation.
How hard is it to go from, thudding out here, JD, to the live tackling in the game?
Yeah, it's obviously, I think that's always from college, NFL, that's always the transition that is going to be a little bit harder. And so for me, I try to be able to get just a couple extra reps on a dummy sled out there after each practice, just to be able to kind of work that and work running my feet.